Hi, everyone. I am here with Lynne Spillman, casting director of Survivor and The Amazing Race. She is here to answer all of your questions on how to make the perfect audition submission for Survivor and how to get noticed. Lynne, let's get started. This is one of the biggest questions that I hear from fans every time I bump into one. They want to know what they need to do in their video to get noticed by you.
It's so hard to pinpoint what it is that gets our attention. It's the things that get our attention that's kind of a no. That's easier to describe. The yeses and the people that just pop. People always say this. It sounds so lame, but they just pop. There's just a quality to them that is just really hard to pinpoint what it is. It's just kind of that it factor. To not get on the show is a lot easier to talk about. If you're shy and you know you're shy, it's not great television to put people that are shy or quiet. If you have never seen the show, maybe study it a little bit before applying. You should know why you'd be good. People make the mistake all the time of saying they'd be perfect because they just got out of school and they don't have a job or they got laid off, so the timing is perfect, and they kind of highlight all the negatives about them or all their failures as opposed to show us why they would be successful at a game that's socially challenging, challenging from a physical standpoint, emotionally draining. They kind of go the other direction and tell us, all the downside, everything bad that's happened and why they deserve this, as opposed to why they're a winner.
And to that note, how important is it for someone to explain to you why they're going to win versus being a big character, being larger than life?
Well, I think nobody has to. If you're a character, we can see that. So if they say I'm a big character or I'm this type of character, we kind of it's questionable. We can pick characters out based on a minute of their video. So nobody needs to tell us they're a character. You just kind of are or you're not. And as far as winning, it's different for everybody. Like you, for example, we're this young thing, I think right out of college, hadn't had a career yet. I know that when anyone meets you, they're going to love you. They're going to think she's a bright light. But the big question they're going to have is, can she win and will she quit? And so for everybody, it's different what we need to know from them based on their life experience and what they're about and what they're bringing into the game. So winning, it's kind of mean. We always say we don't care who wins as long as we have 18 or 20 of the best people to play the game and make an amazing cast. Because you always have to think, if that's the last person standing, do I still have a TV show? Those are our last three. Are we okay? That's what you're always thinking as far as characters or personalities go.
Okay, so what are the top 3 do's and don'ts when submitting yourself for Survivor or Amazing Race?
Oh, so hard. Just be yourself and take a risk. Just be yourself. Don't try to be the bitch character or the flirt if that's not who you are. Don't try to be the villain if your lifestyle and your life choices have been the opposite, because we will call you out on it and we will kind of break you. We need to know who you really are. So I would just say the biggest thing is just be true to yourself and don't say anything on the video or in the application that you wouldn't say on TV or that doesn't represent you. So that's the biggest do. Biggest don't is costumes and, never seen the show and everyone tells me I can't win. There's just no point. If you've never seen the show, you don't know what you're signing up for, or how hard it is or how challenging it is. And, going into casting season 33, by now you should know what your strategy is and who you'd play like. And, you don't have to know every player that's ever played, but you should understand what it takes to win.
And what I love about you is that when I first met you, I really didn't know very much about Survivor. I was a big fan of The Amazing Race. So I came in and auditioned for The Amazing Race with a couple of friends of mine. And that was when I first met the infamous Lynne Spillman. I walked in the room with 2 people and you told me to choose which one I wanted to do Amazing Race with. And I was so taken aback by that. I was like, no, this is your job. You're the casting director. You choose. And you said this to me, and I remember it to this day. You said, no, do you want to win? And I was like, yeah, of course I want to win. There's not even a question. And you said, which person will you win with? And that made me choose. So you're incredibly effective at getting people, like getting right to the heart of people and finding out if someone has that killer instinct, I guess, quality that you need to do well on Survivor, because that game is so cutthroat.
Well, I also made you vote off one of your friends before you even started. So,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, because I know that you put a lot of effort into helping me prepare for casting, because it wasn't something that came naturally for me at all. Do you find people that you really want to invest more time and you think this person will be great on the show, but they're really not very good at getting through the casting process? And what are some tips for people moving through the casting process, and how is that different from actually doing well on the show?
Well, I think it's, first of all, we don't care who wins. So doing well on the show, in a lot of cases, would be getting far in the game. For us in casting, it's, will they be a big enough personality? Will they make big moves? Yeah, we handhold people a little, some more than others, only because we think that we can see it, the spark is there, but they're not used to that kind of interview. It's so uncomfortable, like bragging about yourself and all the qualities you have. And, Survivor's not the nicest game either. So we're asking you, like, when in your life have you voted somebody out? Like, when have you had to throw someone under the bus to get ahead? And people don't want to admit that, and people don't want to say it. So it's getting them to a place where, one, they're comfortable talking about it. There's one word we use all the time that people don't like to think of themselves, manipulative. On Survivor, it's a game of manipulation. It's a term that in the real world would be so mean and sound so derogatory, but in Survivor, it's a social game. You are manipulating. So when people don't use it or can't use it, you have to guide them there where they feel comfortable, kind of, digging deeper and finding out what it is that would make them, be able to play this game and, win. And win as far as, like, they're going to have to talk a whole room of people into believing them that they're going to play a certain way or win and not quit. So yeah, it's a weird interview because it's not a job interview. It's not a college interview. It's a very strange digging deep and finding how in your real life you already play the game. And sometimes you just have to stick with somebody for a really long time and ask a lot of questions and get to the heart of it, of what it is. And then when you hear their story, you're like, that's the one, that's it. If that, and then they understand it better.
Yeah, because I remember interviewing Jeremy Collins for his first season, Survivor Blood versus Water 2. And he was out there with his wife, and he told me he applied to the show how many times?
I don't know how many. I know I met him with his brother for Amazing Race. Or no, Blood versus Water, right. We met him with his brother. And I think we've looked at his stuff before that, but I don't know how many times.
It was a significant amount of times.
Yeah.
And I asked some fans on Twitter, I let them know that I was going to be talking with you today, and they all sent in a lot of questions for you. So this one is from Rob E, and he asked, Bob Shea 23 asked, how often should he send in a video? He sent in 3 videos, and he wants to send in another one, but you want to be strategic about this stuff.
Well, I think that people don't realize how much they change in about 2 years. Like, you might be at some job that is, I don't know, I'm not sure. I think as your life changes, you should keep applying, because as you grow and overcome new things in your real life, it starts to click a little bit more. Like, people don't realize I don't care where they work. It could be, Starbucks or any sales job. And sometimes they don't even talk about it because they don't think it's important. Survivor is all sales. So until they get that piece, until they figure it out, they should keep applying. We want to know, how do you play this in your real life? Period. That's what we want to know. And so a lot of times people they either can't figure out, or they really never have. They've been a student and they've never, so as their life changes, they should keep applying.
Fair enough. So never give up.
No.
And that's a quality that you need to have to do well on Survivor too. Never say die. It's not over till your torch is snuffed. All right, we've got a lot of questions also from the young fans. They want to know why there aren't very many young people, like 18 to 21, competing on Survivor recently. And are you really looking for young people?
We are, and we bring a lot out to LA for finals. And again, it's that confidence or life experience, and they haven't really played the game, and they think they could because they have the outdoor skills to do it. But it's the social skills, that make and break a season. So when they don't have enough life experience to really, I don't know, it's like when they can't make that connection just because they haven't had enough life experience, it's really hard to pick them. Or usually they're shy. I mean, yeah, we'd love a big character at 18. That'd be fantastic. We bring a lot to LA. We give it a shot. We try. But usually it's a life experience thing. They just haven't had enough, and you just can tell they're going to just get bulldozed over real early on, and you can't really justify, and they can't either, why they would win, except maybe they have the outdoor skills or the smarts, but it really has to be everything. And they have to be able to stand up to like the bullies and the bigger, like, I don't know, the Russells. You have to know that they can play against those people. And if they haven't ever worked or, they've just been in school and they've just gone that straight path, you just can't find a place where it's even similar to what they're going to be going through. If that makes sense.
Are there any players that you worked really hard to get cast on the show and then were out early that broke your heart?
Yeah, I get mad when people vote my favorite players out first or second. I can't. Yeah, I definitely have been. That's a whole season. The whole season is luck. You also, people also that you think are going to be great out there either get hurt or they just didn't realize how hard it was going to be, and it's heartbreaking. But yeah, it happens a lot. You just, it's just part of the game. Yeah, it's a bummer.
Any names you want to name?
Nope.
Okay, you talk a lot about life experience, and for the young people, they're really big fans of the show and they want to get on. And is there any experience that you would recommend? Would you recommend that they travel or that they start to work as a waitress, or is there something that you would suggest that they do to prepare themselves for the casting process?
I would say, honestly, I do think commission sales. Like, I know that sounds so crazy, but it's like, in a real place that's not your parents' business or something. But commission sales is, by the way, I'm at 7%, just letting you know.
Okay.
Commission sales, like at Nordstrom, anywhere, because you have to compete. It can be anything. Get your real estate license and sell homes, but you have to be competing with people of all different ages and all different backgrounds, where your life and your rent depends on it. When you're still living at home with your parents and waiting for the dream job, there's not a lot to give us. There's just not a lot. That's not to say you can't ever get on that way, but that's a biggie for us. If you're still, and I get it, economy's bad and you have to live at home, but I think if you're not working or you're just waiting for Survivor to happen or any show to happen. A lot of people apply to lots of reality shows because that's what they want their path to be. And we see right through it. So I would say sales jobs, that's the best thing. Bartending, anything where you have to be with people.
Yeah, I was a waitress and a bartender.
Yep.
Boom. I did both.
Sure.
And I was a world traveler, so that helped.
Yes.
Or boxer.
Yeah, boxer. Oh, Parvati, with your job.
Do you look for people also that are athletic? Because Survivor does take a significant amount of endurance.
It does. I think, though, a lot of it is all in your heart and in your head. You can have people that have never played a sport or aren't the most athletic, or like, look at little Courtney Yates. I mean, skinny. She just understood how to play the people. And I think that's a bigger thing. Look at, Sari had never spent a minute outside. I really think it's the people skills I think it's the key to winning. I think you could be the strongest thing and the strongest person physically, and it doesn't matter.
So if someone doesn't know how to swim, they're not an automatic no.
They should learn because we have safety reasons, and they should try, and but yeah, I mean, there's no automatic no. Especially, we give you plenty of time to as soon as your application goes in, you should know that you need to swim to be on Survivor. I always find it amazing when people are like, oh, but I'll learn when I make the show. Well, if you're applying or you've applied 5 times, maybe you should take some swimming lessons and at least give it a shot.
This is my favorite Twitter question that's just come in. It is
Okay.
from Purple Rock Survivor, and he says, ask her how she remains so attractive.
Oh, that's so nice. And we only have like 1% left. That's so sweet. I don't know. I'm old
Okay,
now. I
well,
started this 15 years.
I know you've been doing this for 15 years. So before you go, just let me know roughly what you're working with. How many submissions are you watching per season?
It's not as, there's so many reality shows that it has definitely gone down. People think, oh my God, I would say we probably get between 10 and 15,000, and that's including open calls. So it's not that many. I mean, we were at season 2 was 70,000. I mean, it's a totally different thing. And I think it is because there's so many reality shows, but it's, you know, it's probably closer to 15,000, but it's not anywhere like it used to be, which, you know, is manageable for us.
Would you recommend that people come to the open calls and meet you in person, or your casting agents?
Well, I think we try to cover as many as we can. I think you should do every way, because some people, you know, they're fantastic. We can tell when someone just can get in front of the camera and kill it in the 1 minute or 2 minutes they have. And sometimes that's more comfortable for people than it is making, you know, doing this kind of video online and you can't connect and it's a pain in the neck. So I would say any way you can do it, because you just never know which is the one that's going to get our attention. And, you know, some people are different, you know, with people in line and cheering for you. Those are pretty fun to go to. So
What's going to be the theme of the next season?
I don't know. Taking ideas, bring them on. Seriously, like tweet Jeff ideas. See, I'm passing it on to Jeff, but no, we don't know. I'm just beginning. I'm just starting to watch everything, and we're open. We've got, you know, 2 seasons to do here, so we're just beginning.
So Survivor casting is open for business.
Yes. CBS.com/casting or survivorcasting.com, and Amazing Race soon, not quite yet, but Amazing Race will be in the next month or so.
Okay, anything else you can tell these Survivor hopefuls before we sign off?
No, watch the show, keep applying, and figure out how you already play the game in your real life. And that's the biggest, best advice I can give you.
Except don't manipulate and backstab your best friends.
Well, only you would know that.
All right, Lynne, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I know the fans are really great.
Goodbye.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
Hey guys, I'm here at Wanderlust in Whistler. It's absolutely beautiful. If you have never been here in the summer, you really, really, really need to come.